can make it there. I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
All right, how we doing? Welcome back to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast here on Facebook Live and YouTube. With me today via upstate New York, Mr. Ryan Shedd, Window 3.
What's up, fellas?
Yeah.
Going.
Yo.
Big game for
you guys
Shedd's
are missing
Niners.
out on some really good weather. Yeah, big game tonight, boys. We'll see
sir,
how
yes,
it
sir.
all plays out. Weather's been terrible up here, boys. Just nonstop snow.
Just
a mess. Just a mess up here.
Yes, sir. That's why I decided to stay in North Carolina and not move back to New York.
Lucky duck.
Idris Salam, a.k.a. Bosco from the Bronx, Window 2, currently in North Carolina.
Bam, bam, bam. What up, y'all?
We've got a lot to speak on. We're going to give you the full slate of Week 18, a very pivotal week in the NFL to decide the playoff brackets. First time in a long time that this many games and divisions, you can have an AFC situation where the Jacksonville Jaguars can fall all the way to 7. They can jump all the way to 1. You've got the game of the week happening later tonight.
Yes, sir.
Seattle making the trip to Santa Clara. The winner not only wins the West, but gets the number 1 seed home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. Then you have a third-place Rams team currently that many feel might be the best team in the West, yet they're probably going to be a wild card. There's just so much going on. And, you got the Eagles and Bears vying for the 2 seed, which would guarantee one of them 2 home games. New England Patriots in the mix for the 1. Denver Broncos probably going to get the 1 because the Chargers are running with backups. But that's the beauty of it. You really don't know because these are all professionals and anything can happen on any given day. Daniel Nunez, how you doing, buddy? That's our resident Eagles fan.
What's up, Nunez?
Yeah, what's going on, bro? What's going on? We're going to start this up, however, with some Hall of Fame chat as Idris and I definitely have some personal investment in this as Eli Manning making his second attempt to get into the Hall. It may be harder than last year because of how talented this Hall of Fame class is. You have Larry Fitzgerald, who I think without question is a shoo-in. Jason Witten, former Dallas Cowboy, probably a shoo-in. You got the greatest kicker, at least in the postseason, Adam Vinatieri, former Colt and New England Patriot, 4 rings with those 2 teams. You have Drew Brees, one of the most prolific passers in the history of the NFL. What is that? I got 4 right now. Cowboys legend Darren Woodson, who, in my opinion, has waited far too long to get in. Will he get passed over again? And then you have great defensive players, the likes of Luke Kuechly as well as Terrell Suggs. Terrell Suggs, great player, similar to guys like Carl Banks or Harry Carson in the Giant organization, overshadowed by the best Raven on that team, or at least in some people's estimation, because Ed Reed was pretty damn good too. Ray Lewis, of course, has overshadowed guys like T. Sizzle. So Very interesting to see how this plays out. I'm going to start with you, Shed. Out of the modern era players, how many do you think go in on this ballot that'll be finalized towards Super Bowl weekend?
I like 3. And one of them being Frank Gore, who you left off the docket.
My apologies. I did leave off Frank Gore. And it was funny because I'm saying Shed's invested in this too, and it slipped me. Yes, Frank Gore.
Frank Gore, and Roger Craig, for the old timers looking to get in through that ballot. But Frank Gore, my argument with him is he's 3rd all time in rushing yards. It's a very hard feat, especially in today's modern day NFL, to last that long and get that many yards, because running backs, as we all know, usually don't have a long career in the NFL. They usually, they're doing all the dirty work, and they get banged up, and injuries can decimate you. And he tore his ACL at the U, which is why the Niners got him. They got
a good deal there.
Yeah, they drafted him late, and he became a prolific running back for many years in San Francisco, and then he was a journeyman after that. But it's a hard feat to accomplish, to get that far on the rushing yards list nowadays. I mean, besides, I don't even know who's even somewhat close to him. I mean, Derrick Henry's got to be maybe within the range, but I don't think he's anywhere close to the amount of yards Frank Gore got, and obviously Walter Payton and Smith. But
yeah, because he added on, still playing whenever given opportunity, even post 49er.
Yeah, he had a decent career after that. Nothing like he amounted to in San Francisco in his prime, but there's something to be said for a guy that lasted that long in the league and was as effective as a runner as he was for that amount of time. And for Roger Craig's argument, I mean, he's the first do-it-all running back in the NFL history, and it never really got the full credit for what he accomplished. We didn't really start paying attention to any running backs like that until Marshall Faulk. But
I tend to agree. A decade later,
correct.
Greatest show on turf, or even before that, his brief time in Indy with a young Peyton Manning. As a matter of fact, even before Peyton Manning, when they still had Harbaugh as their quarterback.
Yeah.
Ted Barchabroda, that's a shout from the past. I remember that team, the 95 Colts.
Yeah, I remember. Yep.
A couple of fingertips away from upsetting the Pittsburgh Steelers. That would have been really bad for the Steelers, given that they had lost the AFC title game the previous year to the Chargers, the team that Barnum Floyd's 49ers made short work of.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Other than that, I like Drew Brees and Fitzgerald as first ballots.
Yeah, without question. I do want to ask this. There's one confusion I have about this Hall of Fame ballot. Now, I understand that they can go up to 8. Now, is that just modern era, and then they include more from the older generation, or is that just a total of 8?
I think it's a total of 8. You see.
I believe it's a total of 8, including the old timer.
Yeah, because on the old timer ballot, between Darren Woodson, Roger Craig, I take issue with both of them not being in at this juncture, because you nailed the points on Roger Craig. This is a guy that thrived in the Bill Walsh offense, an offense that revolutionized the way the league would go in the future. When Bill Walsh hung it up, you hand the keys to George Seifert, who I don't think gets enough credit for being an excellent coach in his own right, because he was able to keep the 49ers playing at that high level, being a Super Bowl threat every year towards the tail end of Joe Montana. I mean, the Montana injury unfortunately put him down 2 years, then he became a Chief. They transitioned well to Steve Young. It took Young a little while to get the quote-unquote monkey off his back. But the point being made is that the offense still really ran well, and they always had an excellent defense. But Roger Craig was a huge part of that. I mean, of course, you have Jerry Rice opposite John Taylor. Jerry Rice, the greatest of all time. 49ers always managed to have quality tight ends, great offensive line play.
Yeah.
What the hell are you? Looking over your shoulder like
Noah just Noah just did a cross check into the side of the house.
I think, yeah.
Kids will be kids, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So see boys, man.
But yeah, go ahead, Idris. I'll get back on in a second.
No, you good. Yeah, I'm with Shed, man. I think Craig is overdue. I think Woodson is overdue. I mean, I just checked up the Hall of Fame. You have to have at least 4, but no more than 9. You got to get 80% of the vote.
No more than 9, and that is a marriage of the current guys plus the old timers. Okay, thank you for that clarity.
So it's 9. Okay, that's good.
I think this is just my opinion. I think with the Hall of Fame, you got to get the old guys first. I mean, I'm not going to have Roger Craig sitting there, and I'm bringing in, and there's nothing against Larry Fitzgerald. I think Fitz is a first ballot, but I'm not going to put Fitz in there, and I got Woodson, and I got Roger Craig still trying to get in.
And I think part of the problem, Aegis, is that you get your shoe-ins every year.
Yeah.
And then when they mix and match, that's why these kind of players have been overlooked. You know, Darren Woodson's another one. I'm going to hit on him in a second, but
he should have been in.
I mean, Atwater waited forever. Sterling Sharp waited forever. And even more recent talents that should have been first ballot. I'm going to give you 2, and I'm sure the panel agrees. Terrell Owens, Randy Moss. On most people's list, number 2 and number 3 behind Jerry Rice, at minimum, always top 5 if you want to include the likes of a Steve Largent, a Calvin Johnson, whatever have you. Yeah. Those 2 players on most consensus list are 2 and 3. Either way, I would have Moss at 2, T.O. at 3, probably round it out with Megatron. And although Fitz on a lot of people's list is number 5, I would probably go Steve Largent for the sheer fact that Largent was always the best receiver on his teams, whereas Fitz, I think people forget, was second fiddle for a little bit to Anquan Bolden. But, you know, similar to Gore, Fitz had the longevity.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I just feel you got to get these old guys in first, man. Like Drew Pearson waited 40 something years, 50 years.
The original 88, which is egregious.
Yeah. And you got all these other guys that came after him. Drew Pearson should have been in back in the 90s, in the 80s. They should have.
I couldn't agree more, Idris. He should have been in the hole when I still had friggin' baby teeth, dude.
Right. He should have been there when my first child was born. You know, that's
I couldn't agree more. So we're gonna do some predictions here, marrying the old with the new. Now you gave me the clarity. 9 get in.
Yeah.
I'll start with you, Shed. Out of 9 possibilities, how many do you think the Hall of Fame sends?
5.
All right, and who are your 5?
Well, I think. Paul, let me just justify it real fast. I think a lot of it has to do with the low number, with people being. There's just so much talent that their votes go in different directions, like a Terrell Suggs and Eli Manning. Mm-hmm. You know, a Jason Witten, where not all the 80% will add up because the votes will be so spread out to only.
That's a reasonable point. Thank you for that. Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's not that the other guys aren't qualified to be in the Hall of Fame. It's just that there's so much talent that you can only sort of apply your vote to so many of those, you know, unsure first ballot Hall of Famers. Like, in my opinion, would be a Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald. Mm-hmm. I like Craig and I like Woodson for the old timers. Then I like Frank Gore. Again, I'm totally biased, obviously, and that's part of this. But again, my argument with Gore is the longevity, and you can't deny the yards and the talent he had. Right. But yeah, those are my 5.
And you know, I'm gonna interject, and then I'm gonna pass it to Idris. As a Giants fan, I'm not offended if Eli waits another year, because as much as I love Eli Manning, I'm very strong-minded on the whole fact about T.O. and Moss waiting for a third one, which I think is just total dog shit.
Yeah.
T.O. didn't even want to go to the Hall. He got honored at his alma mater.
Sure did.
And I don't blame him one bit for it, because idiots like the likes of Skip Bayless really ruined that man's reputation. Because say what you want about T.O., the media took their own narrative with that man, ran it into the dirt.
He came to play.
But when you get the feedback from his teammates, there's a lot more positives than negatives from most of the guys he played with. I mean, he did have an issue with Jeff Garcia. He publicly apologized to Jeff. They made peace. The only guy that he never really mended fences with was actually Donovan McNabb, because he and Tony Romo had a wonderful relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he also got along with everybody in Buffalo and in Cincy in his waning years in the league. So I think that was a big pile of crap. Randy Moss, on the other hand, there's a little more of a track record of taking plays off, not being the easiest guy in the locker room. There is validity to some of that. I'm going to go with 7 guys getting in, not 5. I'm going to go with 7. I might be reaching a little here. These are my 7. The shoo-ins: Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Jason Witten. Those are the 3 shoo-ins I got. With the older committee, I'm going with Woodson and Roger Craig. I think it's far too long. It's time.
Yeah.
Now, this is where it gets interesting with the final guys. I believe that it's going to look like Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri. And where does that leave me? I think I just named 7, did I not?
You did.
So, yeah.
Eli Manning misses again, whether I like it or not. Adam Vinatieri, I'm sorry. All those Super Bowl moments.
Yeah.
If Vinatieri doesn't get in first ballot, I lose hope for all kickers moving forward.
And it's just like punters. You're not going to put them in Hall of Fame. Even offensive linemen get overlooked. Defensive linemen, not defensive ends, but defensive linemen get overlooked. The guys that are in the trenches.
Now, as much as I don't like
kickers
this,
are just like that.
If one guy does get overlooked in favor of Eli, while I don't agree completely, I think it will be Gore. Because Gore's been overlooked in consensus just by football fans and media alike, because it's a big hypocrisy. Shed made the great points about guys lasting at that position, which is rare, and playing at a good enough level. But yet others will be like, oh, he was stat padding. I'm like, you can't have it both ways, guys. The fact that the guy was still playing says a lot.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion. I think Eli misses the cut. And I also think there's a value that the NFL does, the Hall of Fame does, where guys that miss could be featured guys in the next class, similar to the NFL draft. Why certain quarterbacks and certain studs in college are advised to hang out another year because of draft stock. I think in Eli's case, the third try will be a charm, and I also think he will be joining his head coach Tom Coughlin in that particular class.
Yeah, with me, I think I'm going with the OGs for sure. I'm going Craig. I'm going Woodson. I think Gore will get in. You got to put the third all-time leading rusher in there.
It would be cool to see 2 49er running backs get in together from 2 different gens. I think that makes too much sense.
Yeah, the top 5 retired running backs: OJ, Emmett, Eric Dickerson. He's not even top 5. He's like top 10. All of them are in. You got to put Gore in there, dude. You got it. And Gore, I like Gore. Cause Gore was the way I saw Gore, he's one of the guys who got the job done. He wasn't no flash and dash. He was, he wasn't Eric Dickerson where he was always in the public eye and all these other guys. He went out there. He's like, he
was the kind of guy that took the lunch pail and just went to work.
Yeah, he reminded me of Barry Sanders. Go out there, play football.
Good comparison.
No.
Yep, he was never flashy. Didn't do the touchdown celebrations. Just went in there and grinded every day.
Yeah, and that's why I liked him. I liked I'm about to call him Al Gore, Frank Gore. So
Al Gore was excellent in NBA Jam.
Yeah. So I got those 3. Of course, I'm gonna say Breeze, Fitz. God, man. After that, I'm like, I think you got to put Adam Vinatieri in there. After that, damn. I
think Eli's 2 ways in, or if they overlook Gore because he, unfortunately, all the good things you said about his personality actually could hurt him. Yeah. As messed up as that sounds for a institution that says they care so much about character.
Yeah.
The other one is, do they value kicking? That could help Eli. Yeah. But when you consider that he was kicking for the greatest dynasty in terms of longevity, now granted he wasn't there for the second part,
Right.
But he swiftly went to Indy and less notably got a 4th ring. It wasn't like the heroism that he had in New England, but yeah, you can't write the story of the Super Bowl without Adam Vinatieri.
Yeah, my last one's going to be Willie Anderson.
Willie Anderson, another guy that's been waiting too long.
Yeah, he's going to be my last.
He's another guy that just longevity at left tackle, like just a freaking force for Cincinnati all those years.
Yeah.
Those guys get overlooked too.
I bet Joe Burrow wishes he had a guy like that.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Come out of retirement.
No lie. We're going to move it along into the games now. We got 2 today.
Yes, sir.
2 big ones today. We've got the NFC South. This is going to be interesting. If Tampa didn't proverbially play with themselves for the better part of a month, they wouldn't have to worry about all this extra help they need now. Idris's local team, Carolina Panthers, 8-8 at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 7-9. Let me just say this right now: the Bucs don't belong in the playoffs, so I don't want them in the playoffs.
Nah.
However, I do think they're going to win this game.
Yeah,
and then they're going to be scoreboard watching and probably in the comfort of their homes watching the Atlanta New Orleans game. That's what makes this league so fun sometimes. Keys to victory for the Buccaneers. Their defense has not been good, boys. So quite frankly, I think you're going to have to outscore Carolina. You're going to have to put together some drives that keeps Carolina off the field, because Carolina, in my opinion, has an excellent running game when they apply it. This is the biggest game of Bryce Young's career, because all Bryce Young has to do is win the game and they win the division. There's no waiting. There's no worrying. Right. If you lose, then you got a scoreboard watch as well. This is a very unique situation that mediocrity put both these teams into. But there's 2 layers of mediocrity. In Tampa Bay's case, it's an underachievement. In Carolina's case, they're learning how to win still, which I feel Carolina offers more to the playoff field if they qualify. Now, don't get it twisted. Whoever wins this division is going home immediately, because they're going to have to play a really quality team from the NFC West, probably the Los Angeles Rams. But you never know. Carolina did beat the Rams once this year already. I'm looking for some points here. I think this is going to be the kind of game that could go back and forth. The reason I take Tampa here is because, quite frankly, I trust Baker Mayfield, even though after the MVP talk, his stock plummeted in that regard, in large part, I believe, to playing hurt. Baker's always been a tough guy, but I trust him more than Bryce Young. Still think you're going to see some points here. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a 3-point victory, 30-27 at home against the Carolina Panthers. And I still think Carolina wins the division. We'll get on that game next, but I have a feeling that Tampa will not receive the help they need.
Go ahead, Idris.
Go ahead. No, you guys said.
I'm actually going to go against you on this, Richie. I like Carolina to win the game. Baker Mayfield, ever since he hurt his left. It's not a throwing shoulder, but he hasn't been right since. I mean, Baker Mayfield was arguably the MVP of the league when the Bucs were 6-2.
Yeah, good point.
They were unstoppable, and that was without Mike Evans, Bucky Irving, and like McMillan, all those guys, or McLaughlin.
Godwin wasn't healthy either.
Godwin wasn't back yet, and he made everything work. It didn't matter who was on the field with him. He was, with Ibuka, and Kate Otten was stepping up, and Rashad White was playing well. Their defense was actually making legit stops and looking a lot different than they look now. And for that reason, that's just one of the reasons. I mean, I think Carolina has an overall better team. And Bryce Young, he's up and down. But I don't think we're going to have to wait for tomorrow's game with the Falcons and the Saints to figure out who's going to take this division and be the number 4 seed in the NFC. So give me the Carolina Panthers to win this one, 27-20.
All right. You agree with Nunez. Nunez has a 10-point victory, 27-17 on his end. Idris, what you got?
Sweet Carolina. I'm going Carolina, baby.
I got to be the prick that picks Tampa and keeps this South Street going. Well, not really. They're still going to.
Say scores Nunez, 27-17. Carolina. Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to go out of order here just because of my scenario. New Orleans Saints at 6-10, traveling to Atlanta 7-9. In the event that Tampa does win their game, they need an Atlanta loss, and unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get it. I think Raheem Morris is making a case to save his job at the end of the season here. I like the way they've been using Bijan Robinson in this offense, and like so many other Falcons seasons, I always say to myself in the month of December into January, where was this when it was necessary? Atlanta's a weird team, dude. They beat the Rams. They beat the Bills. They've had some moments of brilliance this year, but they've also went into a pure shell at other times where they would go take the ball out of Bijan's hands, not really go to the bank of what works for them. Tyler Shuck, rookie, in my opinion, shout out Book. You know, he's a big advocate for this young man as he is a Saints fan. You know, you go back to his college career in Louisville, and a lot of draft classes, people think he would have been the number one pick without all the injury history. Mm-hmm. I like what he has been able to do this year, and that's why I think this is still going to be a close game and a nail biter if my Tampa prediction comes to fruition. But give me the Atlanta Falcons by a score of 27-20. I think the Falcons win by a score, and I think Shuck chucks a little too much, and there's going to be 2 picks. And that's the difference in the game. And that will end Tampa's bid for yet another South Crown. Last time Tampa actually didn't win the South Crown, oddly enough, was the year they won the Super Bowl, as they were a wild card that went into New Orleans in the epic Drew Brees, Tom Brady final matchup. Reality is the guy who threw the best pass in that game is actually Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Atlanta's not going to try to do any favors for Tampa Bay. But I'm going. I don't know why I'm agreeing with this Philly fan in the chat named Daniel Nunez, but I agree with him. I don't think it's going to be that much of a score. I think I'm going to go 28-21 New Orleans. I have zero faith in Atlanta, man.
One thing about New Orleans this year that they need to get some credit for, they've played very well in their division.
Yeah.
You know, which is rare that they are not in a better spot. They just haven't done well against the rest of the league, you know. But New Orleans, in my opinion, overachievement, because I know coming into the year, many of us on the preview for the regular season felt that the Saints were a candidate for worst team in the league. They've definitely overachieved those expectations. Now, if the panel is right outside of me, this game doesn't mean nothing other than pride. But if Tampa does win, like I said, they need Atlanta to win. Biggest game of the week, and this isn't even up for debate, and this is tonight. We've got the West on the line, possibly the 1 seed on the line as well, definitely the 1 seed on the line. San Francisco 49ers at 12-4 are hosting the Seattle Seahawks at 13-3. These teams last played in front of the 12th man week 1. And the 49ers did what they've been doing for a decent amount of years. They consistently have beaten good Seahawks teams. Even going back to 22 when the Seahawks were a playoff team, Niners beat them 3 times. Even in seasons like this one, where people on paper will say, well, the Seahawks have more talent than the Niners have defied the odds all year. I think it's a credit to their coaching staff. Robert Saleh, despite not having all his toys, has done an excellent job with that defense. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're performing at their best level, but he's getting the most he can get out of guys that, quite frankly, would not be a complete starting unit. You know, sometimes holding teams to 3 as opposed to the extra 6 has been the difference in the 49ers winning some of these games. The other difference is this team can score when they have to. You have all-world running back Christian McCaffrey, comeback player of the year for sure. Kittle's going to suit up. You know this guy isn't going to miss a game of this magnitude. Trent Williams, game-time decision. It's been a hard go for the Niners. Earlier in the year at the midway point, a lot of people, Mike Zappi, were saying that this 49er team was the most lucky team ever. But I'm sorry, there's something to do with expectations and where you've been before. This is a team that has sniffed Super Bowl victories, been ever so close, both times losing to the most recent dynasty, the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Kyle Shanahan is built for this kind of shit in the regular season, whereas I think Seattle, while they might have the more talented team, they still got to be standing tall at the end. Christian McCaffrey will not be denied tonight. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's going to go off on a level of like what he's done in the fantasy season, that he has the most points of anyone. But I think Brock Purdy shows his worth and reminds everybody how ridiculous the draft process is, that he actually was Mr. Irrelevant. And this is a team that broke their neck to trade for Trey Lance. Give me the San Francisco 49ers by a score of 31-27 in a little more high scoring than some might think. I think the 49ers are going to find some creases in a very talented Seahawks defense. Phillip Rivers played decently against these 49ers, against these Seahawks. I'm willing to go as far as saying the 49ers can do better. They're in front of their home crowd. They're smelling home field advantage. They could definitely use the bye. 49ers are going to find a way to win tonight. 31-27 in favor of the 49ers. NFC West champs, number 1 seed. Didn't have that on my bingo card.
Whew. Dang, go ahead, shit. I got to think about this one.
Okay, I'll give you a little extra time. I just gonna say too, for the Falcons Saints game, I think the Falcons win that game because the team isn't quitting on Raheem Morris, and no one is closer to Raheem Morris than Bijan Robinson, and that is super important for that franchise moving forward.
Yeah, man.
So I would like Atlanta to win that game 27-22.
My bad for passing you, shit. I didn't realize I did that. And
fine.
Morris was chosen over Bill Belichick, so the organization, particularly Arthur Blank, Queens, New York, thinks highly of Mr. Morris. I think it would have been too much of a clash of personalities with Belichick and Blank, and I think that's why Blank let Belichick do something else.
Yep. As for the Niners game, there's a lot going on here, fellas. Seattle's defense is ranked number 2 overall. The Niners have played Seattle once and beat them, but that's when they had Bosa and Warner on the defensive side of the ball. And Bosa was the strip sack of Sam Darnold to end that game, by the way, who is not playing, obviously. The Niners played Houston earlier in the year, and they didn't get destroyed, but they got beat by them pretty good. And Purdy came, that was Mac Jones, but that defense is ferocious. And without Trent Williams on that left side, assuming he doesn't play, Austin Pleasance will get his first NFL start, the journeyman. He did hold up well against Chicago, but Seattle's defense is not Chicago's. With DeMarcus Lawrence and Leonard Williams, they're absolute game wreckers, and they have proven that all season. So Kyle Shanahan's going to have to scheme up some quick outs, just like Phillip Rivers did 2 weeks ago, and Bryce Young did on the last game, because without the quick release, Brock Purdy is going to be under duress far too often, but he also holds the ball the longest because he does a lot of work with scrambling and making plays with his feet before getting rid of the ball. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of things going on, a lot of movement with Juszczyk. But I'll say this. I like Seattle to win the game. I think they just have far too much talent on the defensive side of the ball. The 49ers defense has been bend, don't break all season. They want Demondre Lenore to shadow JSN, which Lenore wants to do that. Robert Saleh will not allow him to do that, which means JSN is going to be open often. The Niners just don't have a pass rush at all. I think Sam Darnold, as much as he has had hiccups in December and January in his past, is going to make a difference this game due to the lack of defensive firepower on the 49ers side. Give me the Seattle Seahawks to win a low-scoring game. Give me the Seahawks 24, the Niners 17.
Oh, by the way, Shed, before I pass it to Idris, I did talk to Zappy 2 nights ago, and he's actually picking the 49ers. He it sounded like a different person, but he flat out said they've been tested, they've been through this stuff, they're gonna find a way. So he actually did pick the 49ers. Just want to let you know.
I'm surprised.
Idris, you are up, sir.
Yeah, I guess I am, man. What Shed said, excuse me. I think it's about the defense, man. I think Seattle has a better defense. That's it's been proven they got a better defense. Damn, man.
I like that you're both going against me here. I like this.
I don't want to go against the Niners at home, man, but I'm gonna go Seattle, man, in a close one too. I'm gonna go 26-23. I think it'll be a field goal. I think it'll be a fight the whole time.
I don't like Seattle because I'm a Yankee fan, and it's not even the same sport, but I can never root for a Seattle team. They made Don Mattingly cry. Shouts out Hot Rod. Also,
talk about. What's the look? Shit, I see them eyes.
What?
I sound like Colangelo and Bronx Tale talking about Mickey Mantle.
You had the eye roll for a second.
No, I'm a Don Mattingly fan too. So
I was just laughing at you because the way you look.
I might have hit.
He's like, oh, he went there, like he made Mattingly cry, so that's why I hate all Seattle teams. So I was like, whoa.
Oh, and I'm not done. One last thing before Idris finishes.
I'm done. That was it.
In the words of Paulie Walnuts from the Sopranos series, I hate these yuppies. They steal our coffee. They want to make $1 million business out of this. The Italians created the coffee, which was another. It's great. I love it. I just love it. And don't start with who created the phone either. That'll be a good one. But back to you.
Was my dude. I was
oh my God. Fan. Yeah, Silvio was my guy.
That was my guy.
Shouts out East Street Band.
Yeah, I didn't know he played for what's the name before he got into acting?
Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was him. I was Van Zandt. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, Steve Van Zandt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah. Silvio was my dude.
I get out and then they pull me back in.
Oh, I love it.
Go to Tony and I love Silvio, man.
Chris, not now. He's got a lot on his mind. Oh my. What a series. It opened it all up for everything else. Breaking Bad, Dexter. There ain't none of that if there's no Sopranos.
Yes, sir.
All right. So looks like I'm going against the panel on the first two games we're featuring here. Less notables. These are just my picks, not speaking for these guys. I've got the Buffalo Bills winning 31-16 over the Jets. Cincinnati Bengals 34, Cleveland Browns 17. I don't think Myles Garrett is going to get to Joe Burrow. That is going to be an interesting thing to watch there in terms of NFL history. Green Bay Packers are sitting everybody, plus they're dinged up. Diggs might get some action, though. Minnesota Vikings 30, Green Bay Packers 13. The Vikings are starting J.J. McCarthy. I think Aaron Jones has a big game against his former team. Los Angeles Rams 38, Arizona Cardinals 20. The typical Cardinal game, Jacoby Brissett will throw the ball about 40 times, and they'll lose to a team that's better than them, which is pretty much everyone they play. Any interjections, anything going against how I view the less notables?
The only thing I would add is I do think Garrett does get to Burrow at least once.
Yeah, I think he gets him once too. I hope not, because I want the record to stay. Only thing I'm different on is just a score wise. I think Buffalo's gonna put the beat down on the Jets worse than what you have.
They should after that debauchery of a final.
Yeah, I don't see the Jets making. I don't see the Jets making 16. I'm seeing like 34-10 maybe.
I got a rare Josh Allen pick 6 before he decides to wake up.
Yeah,
I think the Jets haven't had an interception all season, dude.
Batted at the line.
That's crazy. Yeah, everything else. The Vikings, the Packers, they don't really have anything to play for now. So
yeah, they're locked into the 7 seed, and they're either going to Chicago or Philly. For their sake, I think they will be better suited to play the Bears for the upset. I don't think they're upset in Philly.
Yeah. But Buffalo's gonna put the beat down. I'm like I said, 34-10, maybe 38-10. They're gonna put the beat down on the Jets. Just need to fire their coach, man.
It looks like Aaron Glenn is looking good for year 2, whether it makes sense or not. I personally would get Rex Ryan back in East Rutherford. I personally think that the man could still coach, and they haven't had anything close to him. The last 2 legitimate Jet coaches were him and Parcells, and somewhere in between you could put Herman Edwards in there.
Yeah, for real. Because Ryan bought that toughness. He bought that. I mean, I know he's from Boston, but he brought that New York attitude to the Jets to where, like, hey, we are bullies.
And he also coached the Bills. People forget that. Anybody that has the audacity to go toe to toe with Brandon Jacobs has some toughness on them. And never forget, his dad was Buddy Ryan, one of the meanest defensive coordinators in the history of the league.
About nothing.
One of my favorite Buddy Ryan video clips was "You're not going to Don Zimmer me" when he friggin' snuffed out Kevin Gilbride. Now, I like Kevin Gilbride. He did great with the Giants, but man, that was some must-see TV there. I'm like, did Buddy Ryan just punch Kevin Gilbride? Did that really happen? Did Grandpa just snuff him?
I remember seeing it too. I was watching. I was like, dang, I like this.
Shades of Billy Martin. I was like, wow, buddy. I see you, pal.
Yeah, I thought the Jets were going to hire Rex, actually. I really did. I thought he was going to be the guy for the job.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Aaron Glenn as a player. I don't think it's the fairest shake either way, because I think that organization is just a dumpster fire, and it starts with Woody Johnson. But you know, the way they did Robert Saleh, the way they handed Aaron Rodgers the keys, who was never really all the way in anyway, it's just a shit show.
But you know what? Richie, I'm going to be honest with you, and I might be over the top with this. Aaron Glenn was an okay DC in Detroit. He wasn't all that.
Because he wasn't what Ben Johnson was doing on the offensive side, for sure.
Yeah, they gave up a lot of points. Because,
I try to give him a little grace because personnel-wise, they were dealing with mass injuries. A big reason why they didn't win as the 1 seed the year before. Look no further than Dan Campbell, just with his inability to just settle on taking points. I think Shed would agree the 49ers could have been buried if Campbell just played it smart, and then they gave the 49ers a little momentum, and the rest took over there.
Mm-hmm.
Sure did.
Yeah, I'm just not sold on. I wasn't sold on him as a DC either. I mean, that's just me. I know he didn't have the personnel, but come on, dude. I mean, that defense in Detroit wasn't that good. It wasn't good.
Now, if the Giants could stay at the 2 pick, I do think that Fernando Mendoza is on the Jets' wish list, assuming he goes 2, because I have a funny feeling the Raiders, instead of going obvious quarterback, might also make a big trade. But I could see the Jets approaching the Giants at pick 2. We'll see how that plays out, but it's going to be interesting. And the race for the 1 pick here, we've got the Dallas Cowboys at 7-8-1, traveling to East Rutherford to take on the greatest 3-13 team in the history of the league, the New York Giants.
It's your football.
Giants loss paired with a Raiders win will win the Giants the 1 pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Giants appear to be playing to win, however, and will they win? Actually, yes, I think they're going to win. Dallas, a lot of disarray going on. Shouts out Idris Salam. C Block, good video. That was a cool video.
We posted Hobie Corey.
Yeah, man. We put it out in the NFC Beast. Pretty creative. I like the middle finger from the Idris cartoon character. That was pretty dope.
Oh yeah. The funny thing when we did that, because he hates Dallas too, like we all do. And he said, "Man, let's just do this." We had done it like a week or 2 ago, and I was going to drop it on the show this year, and it just kept itching. I'm like, man, I'm dropping this thing.
Yeah, Nunez. Just to let you know, Packers are running with their 3rd string quarterback, more than likely, who's on the practice squad. Anything's possible, but I highly doubt the Packers. It's going to look like a preseason game, in my opinion. They're just trying to get
defense too.
Yeah,
Brian Flores
may not
is
play
going to
Burrow the whole game either. The Bengals might sit Burrow second half. Who knows?
Which I don't think matters because I think Joe Flacco got something for Cleveland.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Flacco. Yeah.
But as the game goes, Dallas still struggles against the run. Yeah. Giants, one of the bright spots in the season to forget, their offensive line is approaching the top 10 in terms of performance. And that's something that the Giants should be proud of in a lost season because even in lieu of the Cam Scatabo injury suffered in Philly, Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary have been producing. Jackson Dart, I think this is a great game for him to showcase his talents. I think although I want the highest pick possible, I think ending the season on a 2-game winning streak is good momentum for a team that's trying to learn how to win.
Here's something for you, Richie.
Yes.
I saw a stat yesterday where the Giants defense has moved up 6 spots since firing.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have, which leads me to believe that they may consider keeping their current defensive coordinator who's on an interim basis, same as Mike Kafka. Kafka,
he's on contract for next year, though.
Unless if it's a play calling endeavor, I don't think Kafka stays with the G-men. I think if they get McCarthy might actually be calling his own plays. We'll see how it goes. But
I hope we get McCarthy. Oh, we do.
Yeah, I think he would be best for Jackson Dart in terms of limiting his recklessness. But as the game goes, Giants keys to victory. Obviously you try not to turn the ball over. You give Theo Johnson some Sudafed because, he was healthy enough to go to MSG last night. Good for you, Theo.
Right.
Dick. And catch the damn football instead of catching a cold. Yeah. Dallas has not lost with Dak Prescott against the Giants since 2016, his rookie season where he was swept by the Giants. I think he catches the L here. I think this is the first time since 2016 that the Giants do beat this Cowboy team. And I think they're going to break 30. Give me the New York Giants by a score of 30-24. Jackson Dart to Wan'Dale Robinson in overtime, 30-24 in OT. Brian Burns is going to add 2 sacks to his ledger as in any other season. He could be Defensive Player of the Year, but not with Myles Garrett this year.
I want us to win. I would like to have the draft pick, but I'd rather see us beat Dallas. There's 2 teams that I don't care what our record is, we have to beat. Philly and
after the video you put out, we have to beat them.
We have to beat them. Yeah. Philly and Dallas. Philly is our rival, so regardless of what's going on, we have to beat Philly. We already beaten Philly. We got to beat Dallas. I don't care if we're 0-16 or 16-0 going to 17. We got to beat those teams, period. So I'm going to go. Man, why I keep agreeing with Nunez? Go 31-24. Giants, man.
I'm not as optimistic as you two. I mean, there's a reason Dak wants to play. He doesn't want to just lay down. I think that says something right there for that team and that organization as a whole. They're not just going to lie down just because they're out of it. The Giants, by the way, Richie, Wan'Dale Robinson has been ruled out. So that is another reason I don't like them. You're going to have Rock Hands Darius Slayton catching the ball for you. I don't know about that.
Before the final play of the game, Jackson Dart runs out of bounds, realizes that he has nothing available. He chucks it, and Wan'Dale in sweats one-hands it. Enhances the motivation of the receiving room. On the next play, the Giants call a quick snap, a fake spike, over the top Marino style. Darius Slayton, after 4 bobbles, catches the ball. Right.
I mean,
no Wan'Dale. I'm changing my whole ass pick. But go ahead, Mr. Shedd.
Me too.
I think the releasing of Diggs is saying something for that Dallas team too. They're trying to clean up any kind of adversity that they've experienced within the team. Meaning a lot of teams rally around that, just like the Jets did. I know the record isn't very good either, but when they lost Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner, that team didn't quit. They actually played better on defense without the 2-star defensive players. I think that this is going to be a very similar thing here with Dallas. I think their defense is going to show up It's not going to be pretty, but they will. I think they're going to play well enough to win the game. Give me Dallas to win 31-22.
31-23 in favor of the Cowboys after realizing that Wandell will not be suiting up. Thank you for the info. Giants, no matter what, I don't care what you paid Slayton. You got to keep Wandell. Let Kayvon hit free agency. Draft an edge rusher. Give Wandell a franchise tag. Make sure he doesn't leave East Rutherford. You have to keep him because there's a good possibility that we could get a solid edge rusher to replace Kayvon in addition to a solid number 2 receiver opposite of Neighbors. Don't screw this up, Giants. You cannot let that man walk. Should have never gave Slayton that money. I don't know what the hell they were thinking.
I agree. I think we gave Slayton the money because he was the senior guy, the only one who's really doing things. But in hindsight,
yeah, good. Tell him to go sit with the senior citizens.
Yeah, I don't think we should give him that much money though.
Hell no.
Kenny Galladay signing you guys did that was
so Jesus. That's something I try to forget. At least Jameis wears that. At least Jameis wears that number now, so we could gradually forget about Kenny. God damn it, shit. I almost completely watched him out of my mind, and you had to bring him back.
He goes in the box with Dave Brown, Ray Handley.
Oh Lord!
We put him in that box. There's certain names we don't mention in our family.
Ray Handley is the Mr. C of Giants history. If you don't know, do some Googling.
But you know what? You know who might have surpassed Ray Handley? Our boy that we just fired, Brian Dable. Because Ray Handley had a better record than Brian Dable, percentage-wise.
Joe Judge is worse than both of them. Just my opinion.
Oh my God, Mr. Run the freaking wedge on second down and third.
That's some Madden shit, punting on third down. What a dick. All right, Los Angeles Raiders at 2-14, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs at 6-10. These are not the Chiefs you're used to seeing. They are down to their third string quarterback. Geno Smith out, Aiden O'Connell in. They want to lose this game. They showed it last week when they played the G-Men. They will lose this game. It won't be pretty. It'll be quite boring. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs in a scintillating fashion, winning this one 12-8. 4 field goals. 4 field goals for the Chiefs. 4 field goals for the Chiefs.
Chiefs coming for you, man.
The Raiders playfully go for a 2-point conversion and convert late. 12-8. 12-8.
I'm making this a short right after this show so I can post it. She said 12-8.
No. I'm just kidding. The way that the Raiders get the 2 is they're going to block a punt into the end zone. 12-8 in favor of the Chiefs. Scintillating victory to end the season.
My score ain't much better. I got 16-9.
Jesus Lord.
I'm serious.
I like the Chiefs. Chiefs 20-13.
Who has 20? The Chiefs or the Raiders?
Yeah,
okay.
The Raiders got that number 1 pick, boys.
There's one thing I want to say about the Raiders.
Lose, dude. They done sat Max Crosby.
Oh God.
Who else they said? Bowers, they done sat Gino. They probably sat the strength coach and everybody else and the freaking concession guy. We sent everybody.
And rumor has it they're bringing back Barrett Robbins for this game, Super Bowl hero of Tampa, shooting it out with Miami-Dade. Real good decision-making on the eve of the Super Bowl.
DeMarcus Russell's on the practice squad, man. Watch out.
Bill Callahan's been hired to coach this game alongside Pete Carroll as well. He's a guy that would never forfeit anything.
No.
Real serious character there.
Yeah.
Worst Super Bowl ever, ruining Jerry Rice's perfect Super Bowl record, you dick. All right, Washington Commanders traveling to the Link to take on the 11-5 Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are trying to get the 2 seed. It would require a Bears loss, as the Bears did beat the Eagles head up this year. I'm looking for Saquon to have a signature performance here if he even suits up. Is he suiting up? I know that they're going with Tanner McKee here. As Nick Sirianni has stated that he feels he's not worried about playoff position, so to speak. I think Tanner McKee could move the chains. I think Tanner McKee could do enough to win this football game. I think the Washington Commanders were a facade last year. They're back to to the relativity of water seeping its level. Nunez, is Saquon suiting up for this one? I'm gonna let Nunez get back to me on that in a second. But truthfully, even if Saquon wasn't playing hypothetically, and if they ran with Tank Bigsby, and if they had to move around their second and third backs, I still think the Eagles are more than adequate to take care of business here. Not to mention, they know Marcus Mariota well enough, as he was in that locker room for a minute. And the Eagles defense is still pretty good. Okay, we got clarity on that, not be suiting up. So I imagine that means Saquon is sitting. Okay, thank you for that. Will Shipley, Tank Bigsby, whoever they have back there will be good enough. I do believe that, who would be featured in this passing game? Maybe Jahad Dotson? Eagles. Yeah, Goddard probably.
He'll probably still suit up, I would think.
Yeah.
Tanner McKee. That's the thing.
Yeah. Tanner McKee isn't going to do anything all world. I got 175 yards, 16 of 22, a clean game. Eagles 30, Commanders 20.
I'm going to take the Eagles to win as well. I don't care who's going out there for Washington. I mean, you can probably hear, Washington's not going to just throw the season away. Mariota's not going to just, start throwing picks and whatever else. I mean, they still have Scary Terry. Debo's going to try to do Debo stuff, but he's not the same player he was.
That's my hot take. Scary Terry goes catchless.
Wow. Okay. But yeah, I do like Philly to win the game. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles to win 22 to give me 13. Give me 13 for Washington.
And the Eagles are gonna need the Bears to lose. We're gonna hit on that next. Idris, what you got? You got a clean sweep for your cousin's team?
Yeah, I think Ship will do good. He's good. He's a good backup. Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I'm gonna go 28. I'm gonna go 30-17 Philly. I think once Philly gets up there, and I think they'll 30-17.
Now if McKee has some all-world performance with a practice game, so to speak, a preseason kind of layout, do you think that some of the Philly talking heads will start some shit because of Jalen Hurts' offensive inefficiencies this year?
Well, you know how Philly fans are.
Of course,
you know how they are. That throw your quarterback under the bus if he just get up late.
Yeah, man, calling the future heavyweight champion a bum in the local church. I mean, it started there.
Yeah, remember these guys that threw snowballs at Santa Claus, man.
Hell yeah!
Burn your city down when you win, and you burn your city down when it loses.
Right,
and that spells class.
They eat cow shit. I mean, or horse shit. Literally, they literally eat horse shit.
Well, not for nothing. If my first championship prior to the Super Bowl was before civil rights, I'd probably eat horse shit too. But God damn it, those people are so vile. Nunez, if you dare eat a shit sandwich and make a deal with the devil to win another Super Bowl, you're better than that, pal.
Until they won the Super Bowl. Last time they won something was doing Jim Crow.
Oh, Lordy B. They beat Vince Lombardi. Chuck Bednarik, son of Jimmy Taylor. He made my daddy cry.
Hey, I am not going to pass up the moment to talk shit about the Eagles, dude.
Chuck Bednarik put a hit on Frank Gifford that changed the trajectory of Frank Gifford's career. He also sat on Jimmy Taylor to make sure that the Packers didn't get another playoff. He was a beast in his day.
Frank Gifford died on that day and came back.
Yes, he did.
Chuck Bednarik. That's like one of the most iconic football photos. Chuck Bednarik throat slashing and looking down at a dead Frank Gifford.
Yeah, man. Frank Gifford got laid out. Frank Gifford carved out a hell of a career post-football on Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football I grew up on. That was some good stuff back then. Detroit Lions traveling to Chicago. The Bears better be ready for a shootout here because I think that Dan Campbell in a missed season, things of that nature, is really going to try to knock the Bears down a peg.
Did it before?
Yes, they did. I think you're looking at a high-scoring affair here in Chicago. I think Jared Goff, being that this is his final game of the year, he wants to go out on a high note. think he's going to play well. I think the Lions are going to play well. The question is, can they generate any heat on Caleb Williams, who has been very elusive, a tough guy to sack consistently? No, I think this is going to be similar to what we saw in that 49er Bears game, where just high scoring, a bit of a track meet, regardless of what the weather provides. Give me the Lions by a score of 37-34. Jake Bates game-winning field goal in Soldier. And this will knock the Bears out of a third meeting with the Green Bay Packers. And if things go the way I project them to go, they will end up playing the Seattle Seahawks, if I'm not mistaken now, right? Because the Rams, if things worked out my way, the Rams would head to either Tampa or Carolina.
In that scenario, yes.
All right, Seattle, Chicago, round one. Pack it in, Bears. It's going to be a short stay.
Yeah, they don't want to go to Seattle and play them on their home field.
They would actually host Seattle if things work out the way I see.
You are correct.
But I still think Seattle goes into Chicago and takes one away.
Well,
I got
Seattle,
Detroit here though.
Road record than home record as well this year. So
they've been
that damn Nunez. We got to get him off the show, man, because he's reading my freaking mind or something, man.
Yeah, he's in there, bro.
35-23 Lions. Damn, Nunez, leave me alone.
Yeah, Nunez is on fire today.
Yeah, he's in. Let me check my I got my security camera. See
the guy's locked in, man.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna take the Bears at home here, boys.
Okay.
Jared Goff has been not playing very well at all, and we saw the formula to be the Lions recently, right? You just stop the run. I mean, was it last game? Gibbs had like 50 yards rushing, and Montgomery had like 25, and then they made Goff try to beat him, and he couldn't. I think Chicago's going to try to stop Sonic and Knuckles first and then try to make Goff beat him because that formula seems to be working. And plus, Goff isn't the same player outdoors. So Chicago's a tough place to play, and it's going to be cold. Probably snow on the forecast. Give me the Chicago Bears to pull this one off. Give me the Bears 31, Detroit Lions 20.
All right, I like it.
I think with the game, the reason I'm going with Detroit, I don't think it's going to be so much Goff. I think it's going to be more Montgomery and Gibbs. Right down the
So
pipe.
You think they're going to win at the point of attack, sustain blocks, and be able to similar to what they did against the Ravens earlier in the year.
I think that'll collapse that defense, and then they'll go up top. But they got to run the ball. If they don't run the ball, Chicago's going to run them out the building.
There's a part of me that wants the Bears to win this game because I do want to see a third matchup with Green Bay because I do think Green Bay is better than Chicago when Green Bay applies themselves. But, we'll see. Green Bay's not looking too good right now, and then losing Micah definitely hurt their stock and their chances to go further.
But they got Diggs.
They do have Diggs. That will be interesting.
Oh, I'll be facetious, man. I'll be facetious.
They've got a lot of big name players on that defense, but they're not playing big time right now.
Big time defense, right?
No, sir. This is an easy one for me to forecast. Los Angeles Chargers at the Broncos. The Chargers have nothing going right now for the division title. They're benching Herbert. They're running with a lot of backups. This is the kind of game where the Denver defense could really stud out. I think they will. Denver typically doesn't win by a lot in most games, even when they play teams below their level. Mm-hmm. They have a propensity for winning a lot of one-score games, but I think this is a game where Denver actually wins via the blowout. I think Harbaugh runs out a lot of vanilla kind of play calling. I think this is more about getting his team right for the playoffs, and there's a distinct possibility that it could be a rematch with the Jaguars. Jaguars handled the Chargers in the regular season. I do think that and they also have a playoff win in recent memory against them. I think that he's already got his sights set on a probable matchup with Jacksonville, but give me the Denver Broncos to wrap up the 1 seed here by a score of 27-6. A clean defensive game for the Broncos. They will not give up a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the same thing. I'm gonna go 24-17 Denver.
Yeah, I like Denver to win this game as well. I mean, they want to lock in that 1 seed. They have a lot more to play for than the Chargers, who are obviously sitting most of their starters. So, I mean, that's our take of Jim Harbaugh just saying, screw it, let's take our chances in the playoffs and let's just get this game over with, sort of. So give me the Broncos to win this one. I'm gonna go a little bit lower scoring though, just because I think once they get ahead, they're just gonna stay ahead and they're not going to run the score up or anything of that nature. So give me the Denver Broncos to win 24, Chargers 9, 3 field goals.
Yeah. Now I do have a question, gentlemen.
A little bit. I'm gonna go 27-14.
A Buffalo win, a Charger loss. Does that put the Chargers at 7, avoiding Jacksonville, or does that put them at 6 and Buffalo being 7?
I think it puts them at 6.
But yes, what Idris just said. I think if they're
because I think strategically Buffalo wants to be at 7.
Yeah,
because I think Buffalo really believes that they could knock out the Patriots in round 1, and I am one of those people who believe that. We're going to move it along to that Patriot game. They're playing their forever rivals, the Miami Dolphins. Of course, with a Denver loss, this would be a lot more spicy, but it's just not shaping up that way for New England. And it's a weird thing because I actually view the New England Patriots as a better team than the Denver Broncos, at least on one side of the football. I think offensively they're a better team. The Broncos make me worried because their offense sometimes goes in the tank at the wrong times.
Yeah.
But I do like New England to win here. I think Miami will compete. Miami has been fighting this year for head coach Mike McDaniel, who will be brought back.
Yeah.
I like New England by a score of 31-23. I think the Dolphins will compete, but the Patriots win by a score. 31-23 in favor of the Patriots. And even if the Patriots sat Drake May partway through there, I think Josh Dobbs is more than capable of performing at a decent level. One of the more intelligent, cerebral quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, I see the same thing. I like how the Miami Dolphins are actually playing for McDaniel, because at first it looked like they just quit on him. And when Tyreek went down, it seemed like they just started like, hey, let's play together. And they've been playing pretty good, though, over the last, 7 weeks or so? They played pretty well. So, but I think New England's too much. New England's still fighting for that number 1, But I'm going to go New England. You know what? Forget that. I'm going Miami. I'm going for the upset today. Damn it. I'm going to go. No. Tua's not playing. My bad.
Quick, Ewers is playing. Ewers is starting.
Yeah, so Tua's not playing. So, I'm going to go Patriots 28. Yeah, I'm going to go 31. I'm going to go Nunez, damn it.
Wow.
He getting on my nerves.
Well, I'm also on New England here. That defense is very good. I would argue that New England's probably the most fundamentally sound team overall in the NFL. They just do everything right. They're average to good in every position. Obviously within reason. I think there's a lot to be said for that. And it may catch up to them when they start. They're very young, so in the playoffs, to Richie's point, if they end up playing Buffalo in round 1, that's going to be a very, very interesting matchup. But yeah, I'm going to take New England to win the game. Give me New England 30. Give me the Miami Dolphins 22.
Okay.
I like it. The AFC South is up for grabs. We're going to start with Indy traveling to Houston. The 11-5 Texans, they really rewrote their season as they got off to such a bad start. I can't believe H-Town's Finest never came back to talk some smack with us, because we basically called a lot of the way this played out. If Daniel Jones doesn't get injured, I think this would be a completely different scenario where Indy may have been able to sneak into the playoffs. This Texans defense, Shed's talking about defense. These guys smother people. I don't know if it's going to be Riley Leonard or Phillip Rivers. I truthfully don't think it matters. The Texans right now are playing at a level, and they have their eyes set on the division title. Of course, they need some help from the Tennessee Titans. I see them not shutting down Jonathan Taylor, but limiting him to a level where Indy's just going to have a hard time making it to the end zone. I'll give Indy one touchdown, but nothing more than that. I got Indy sitting at 16. Give me the Texans 27, a 27-16 victory for the Houston Texans, as they will hopefully, for their sake, win the South. They have to depend on the Titans for that to happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 28-13. Phillip Rivers, he went on retired, so yeah, I'm gonna go 28-13. I think
so. This is Riley Leonard time in Indy for this one.
It is. Riley Leonard is starting.
Right thing to do.
Yeah, 28-13, Houston.
Yeah, Rivers also said that this is definitely like his last game too. He's not going to unretire again.
That's unfortunate because I actually think that he could have competed for this job next year, especially with Jonesy coming off that injury.
Hey, before you go, Shad, I'll be honest with you. I think he came back for the insurance because this is his last year to get the NFL insurance. He came back, played the 3 games. Now he got 5 years more for that NFL insurance, man.
Not a bad bag. Not a bad bag.
Right.
Good for him. Good for him.
He might come back at 49, man. Watch out.
Good for him.
Yeah, dude, Houston. God, that defense is absolutely ferocious, fellas. Give me not much to say, honestly, with Riley Leonard at the helm, and Jonathan Taylor can do everything he can, but it isn't going to matter. Give me the Houston Texans to win 29. Give me the Colts 7.
All right. I like it. Guys. All right. We're keeping it in the South. We got 2 more games to go on our ledger here. Tennessee Titans at 3-13, traveling to the Jacksonville Jaguars at 12-4. Wouldn't it be something if the bad Trevor Lawrence came out at the worst possible time? And imagine Houston jumping into the 3 seed, taking on number 6 Los Angeles, which I think would be a really awesome defensive struggle. I got the potential for an upset here, boys. I have a funny feeling that the Texans are going to win this division and the Titans are going to show up for the final game of the year and really attempt to ruin Jacksonville's plans. And I'll be real with you. I don't want to see the Jaguars and the Chargers again. That's another reason for this. I have a feeling that Cam Ward ends his rookie campaign on a high note. I have a feeling that Trevor Lawrence, after playing at such a high level and winning some signature games, has one of those stink bombs. Give me the Tennessee Titans in a shocking, frustrating victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Titans are going to win this thing 24-23. 24-23 block field goal for the win. Little comes up small at the end.
Yep. I got the same result. I think bad Trevor shows up. Finally, Cam Ward has been playing pretty good the last few weeks.
Nunez ain't hearing that shit. He's got a Jaguar blowout. I just have a funny feeling the Jags are gonna step on themselves here. I don't know why. Just got that feeling.
I'm gonna go to Tennessee 24, Jags 21.
Oh boy.
So you're all on the Titans.
Yes, sir.
Nope. I'm with Nunez here, boys. Liam Cohen has got that team playing on all cylinders on every facet of the team here. That Jaguars defense is not going to just let Cam Ward and co do any damage to them that's going to be unrecoverable. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars to win 28. Give me the Titans 13.
I got to shout out Mike Zappi here early in the year on the show, South Preview. He predicted that the Jaguars would win this division. I myself looked at him like he had 6 heads. He will be right if Shed and Nunez are correct. Regardless of how this game plays out, Liam Cohn deserves heavy consideration for Coach of the Year, as does Ben Johnson.
Kyle Shanahan will win that.
Kyle Shanahan should win that
as he should
because of the injuries. And you could also look into Seattle's leadership. Yeah, Mike Macdonald, hell of a year. But no, I'm with you. I think Shanahan should win because of all the adversity. Sunday Night Football takes us to the most popular rivalry in today's NFL, the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Pittsburgh. 8-8 are the Ravens, 9-7 are the Steelers. The Steelers did win the first matchup, but by virtue of tiebreakers, if the Ravens win this game, they will win the division. This is going to be a very interesting game and a lot to come from it, because should the Ravens lose, there have been some whispers that this could be the final run for John Harbaugh. There have also been some whispers, and Lamar, yes. There's also been some whispers that this could be the end of the Aaron Rodgers Hall of Fame worthy, first ballot worthy career. I personally think Rodgers is going to come back for a second year, but I think winning this game would help that narrative. I'm looking for Baltimore to try to beat Pittsburgh similarly to how they handled Green Bay. They're going to test that front seven with Derrick Henry. They're going to give a steady dose of Derrick Henry and see if it works. I expect Pittsburgh in front of their home faithful to not completely shut down Derrick Henry, but to do a good enough job where Lamar's going to have to throw that. It's going to be windy. It's going to be cold. These are conditions that Lamar Jackson used to playing with. Watt needs to suit up for this. That goes without saying. This is Aaron Rodgers' possible final game, boys. I cannot see Aaron Rodgers going out weak here. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play at a high level. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to get the job done. I think it's also going to be semi-low scoring. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers by a score of 24-20. Lamar Jackson interception looking Mark Andrews' way is the final play of the Ravens season. Pittsburgh's going to the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't even have confidence in Baltimore anyway. I mean, neither team you can have much confidence in, but I got more confidence in Aaron Rodgers than I have in Baltimore, with Lamar and crew. I think Pittsburgh will get a heavy dose of King Henry. I think with Aaron Rodgers, I think if they get eliminated, I think Rodgers calls it a career. But if they get in and they make a good little run, I think he comes back for one more year.
Yeah, a lot to be decided here. A lot to be decided.
Hey. I'm gonna call it low. I'm gonna go 24-18 because Nunez says 17.
My biggest facet with this game, boys, DK Metcalf is not playing yet again. And DK Metcalf was a big help in that first win.
Yeah, you're right.
Against Baltimore. And I know TJ Watt's coming back. That's not really going to matter, boys. He hasn't been the same player this year, and he's getting paid an awful lot of money to not put up any kind of legit stats to back that up.
Right.
As much as I respect and like the guy, he just has not played up to snuff, and obviously the collapsed lung didn't help the last few games, obviously. But that's my big thing. I mean, Pittsburgh's offense, it's going to be too vanilla for me. I mean, you have Jalen Warren and you have some Kenneth Gainwell that have both been playing pretty well. But as far as passing the ball, I mean, who do you got? Calvin Austin. You lost their big tight end there with a broken arm. Their offense is just gonna be nothing to me. They could surprise me, but I mean, just for those reasons I just listed, give me the Baltimore Ravens to win this one. I do think it's gonna be a lower scoring game though. So give me Baltimore 24. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers 18.
Oh, I wanted to add one thing here. Advantage Pittsburgh on special teams. And I actually do think that there could be a huge kick return or a punt return that puts Pittsburgh in a position to control this game. I have a feeling that something memorable on the special teams front is going to go down for Pittsburgh. One other thing I wanted to add, kicker. Pittsburgh most definitely has the advantage at kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, versus what the Ravens are offering, So in that regard, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will win the division. Neither one of these teams, I think, stays past round one, similarly to how I feel about the South in the NFC. I want to ask you guys a question. Shouts out Karen Chamness, Jen's mom, got me a beautiful Jackson Dart jersey, the throwback edition, 100-year anniversary patch, also the I Love New York patch on the bottom of the jersey, the old school Giants retro grade jersey from the 80s that they wore, which I wish they would just bring back. I think that's the best color scheme they have. Want to ask you boys, do I bust it out week 1 next year, or do you wear it tomorrow?
Tomorrow, man.
Week 1 next year.
All right, I'm going to flip a coin. Tails for Shed, heads for Idris. We'll see what I roll it. In the event that it's not in Dart's favor to wear that jersey tomorrow.
You want to start fresh with a new jersey on a fresh season when you actually have hope.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. I don't want to start the Dart campaign with a loss, but similar to Eli, it could be my first win with the Dart jersey against the Cowboys, because in Eli's rookie campaign, that was the way it played out when I had his rookie jersey. I got Eli's rookie jersey before he was even named the starter. So anyway, love my gift. So thank you, Karen. And I think that's a wrap for the games, boys. Idris, I was thinking.
Yo.
I have 3 minutes here. Our shorts usually go 3 minutes.
Okay.
Let me just roll. I'm going to do this, and
roll the tape.
I can have you guys interject. We're going to put this into a short final part.
Roll the videotape.
Let's do it.
Roll the videotape.
Whether or not Eli Manning gets in the Hall of Fame is not my concern tomorrow. What is something that I take issue with certain NFL fans, media members alike, is that people try to downgrade Eli, that he's not a Hall of Famer is all. Do I have to throw the stats at you? I think I will.
Right.
Over 57,000 passing yards for the career. I know he gets a hard time about the Pro Bowls, but I think he played in one of the more talented, deep quarterback pools in the history of the NFL. Just look at his draft mates. He came out with Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger. One of the biggest things about proving if someone is a true winner is who was the best during their era and did they eat on their watch.
Right.
Tom Brady was the best in that era. Not many ate on his watch. Only Ben Roethlisberger and Eli Manning have multiple Super Bowl victories. Ben did not play good in 2 of his 3 Super Bowl games.
And don't forget, we beat the guy who was the guy. Ben didn't do it. Yeah. We beat the guy who was the guy.
Yeah, that part goes a long way. And I don't want to just pin this on 2 great Super Bowl runs.
Yeah.
Eli Manning holds a 117 record in the regular season. I think that's more of an organizational failure than it is a failure on behalf of Eli Manning, because as much as people love to talk about the way the defense stepped up in the 2011 and 2007 seasons, what they don't want to talk about is his greatness in 11.
Right.
Where he threw for just under 5K, only quarterback to lead a single-digit win team all the way to the Super Bowl. That particular postseason, he holds the postseason record for most passing yards in a single postseason. Still holds that to this day. So you can't have it both ways and say it was the defense when Eli's putting up that kind of volume. The greatest game of Eli's career, in my opinion, that totally proved his worth as a Hall of Famer was in Santa Clara against the 49ers. He took a beating among beatings against a very ferocious 49er defense. One of the truly classic NFL games I have ever witnessed in an NFC title game. Eli kept getting up. Eli kept making some serious throws. Even when they took Victor Cruz away, who had a big first half, he was able to get it going with Manningham and his tight ends. It ultimately culminated in a giant victory a second victory over Tom Brady. The only quarterback to have 2 wins in Lambeau Field as a visitor in the postseason. He also retired in the top 8 in passing touchdowns. Recently, John DeLamba, big Patriot fan. I don't know if that was his motivation for jumping on down my throat when I said Eli belongs in Canton. He said nothing about Eli stands out when other guys in that era were doing it. Are we going to punish guys for their era? Because if that's the case, the GOAT, Tom Brady, was he stat padding? Because I think you can make an argument that he and Joe Montana are the same player. If you just reverse their draft years, they would still be great, but one guy ain't playing 20 plus years. I take issue with narratives that Eli did not do enough to make the Hall. Winning in the toughest media market in the world, doing it with class, grace, and dignity, even when things didn't go your way, and even when you lost your job in a more embarrassing kind of fashion, or when your Iron Man streak gets broken up, 3rd in all time, by the way. Nothing screams consistency, fearlessness, and leadership than playing that many games at the quarterback position. The only 2 guys to play more are Brett Favre at 1, Phillip Rivers at 2. Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. Players are graded on what they do in the most grandest stages. And on the grand stage, Eli Manning's heroics line up with the great Tom Brady and the great Joe Montana. No, he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. No, I'm not going to bitch, moan, and complain if he doesn't get in on this one. But anybody that thinks that Eli Manning is not a Hall of Famer did not watch his career. Eli for the Hall never played with a Hall of Fame player on offense, and most of his best offensive weapons had shorter careers than most of their contemporaries. Tiki by choice, Beckham by injury, Cruz by injury, Knicks by injury, Shockey by injury.
Exactly, and that's how I feel. I don't put a team's win-loss record on the QB for the fact, if you look at a guy like, let's just say Dan Fouts, his numbers are not that. His numbers are really trash if you look at it, but it's what he did. And when you got a team like, okay, who you can use as an example. Let's use Matthew Stafford in Detroit. He put up Hall of Fame numbers in Detroit, but how did they lose? The defense.
And that's something that I think needs to get looked at too, because a lot of guys stat pad. That's why I never argue with people that think that Bradshaw, Namath, and quarterbacks of that era don't belong. It was a different game. The way that the offensive rules favor everything offensively driven now was the polar opposite in the era that Bradshaw and Namath played in. I don't like to compare eras, but greatness is greatness. And I'm not saying that Eli Manning was consistent on the level of a Drew Brees, a Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers. That would not be accurate. But he played in the same era with these guys.
Richie.
And for 2 playoffs, he was on top of the mountain. So he did belong.
This is my comparison. And I'm not taking nothing away from Terry Bradshaw. If you put these 2 guys' numbers against each other, and you compare what these 2 guys had, Bradshaw had the hell of a defense. You can't question the steel curtain. On offense, he had Franco Harris, John Stallworth, Lynn Swann, Rocky Bleier.
But this is what gets me mad.
But hold on, if you take away his 4 Super Bowls, because if you take those away from him, he doesn't get in the Hall of Fame. Because you got that firepower. There's a lot of pedestrian.
There's a lot of stuff, and I try to give him mercy because of the era. Like I said, passing offense in general wasn't the same back then. Like, people look at the back of Joe Montana's card and they'll try to hate on him. I'm like, oh, no, you don't. Nobody was better on Super Sunday than Joe Montana, and that still holds true. Lawrence Taylor himself said that Montana's his GOAT because he said if Brady played in our era, he wouldn't last the way Montana lasted. I think that LT makes a valid point. But as far as back to this Eli Manning stuff, the part that gets me mad more than any other narrative about Eli Manning is that, number one, he got lucky. There wasn't a damn thing lucky about that throw he threw to Manningham in 46. Yeah, the Tyree catch was really crazy. But he still had to continue to march the team down the field. The Plaxico Burress fade route doesn't happen without Brandon Jacobs getting a hard yard. There were a lot of things that happened in that game that allowed the Eli Manning to do it. But in 2 fourth quarters in 2 different Super Bowls, 3 go-ahead drives. 3 go-ahead drives. You can say what you want about the defense. The defense still left the field with the deficit with the Patriots winning both of those Super Bowls. It still required the 2-minute drives of Eli Manning to get it done. And the other thing that pisses me off, people love to talk about the defenses stepping up for Eli as part of that narrative that he was carried. He carried them in 2011 when the defense was ranked in the bottom 5, not to mention a bottom 5 running game. And the other thing that upsets me about this Eli hatred, where's that energy when in 14 and 15, he had the best touchdown to interception ratio only behind Aaron Rodgers at 2, Tom Brady at 1. So if you're going to talk about the picks and all that other stuff, tell the whole story. When Eli Manning was a top flight offensive player in 14 and 15, he had a horrendous defense. One last tidbit on Eli before we get out of here. If you take away the 20-plus blown leads in the fourth quarter, Eli Manning has the most fourth quarter comebacks in NFL history. Mic drop. Eli's in the hall. That's all I got.
Before you close out, let me say this also. And I said this during each season. From 2014 to his final season, the New York Giants lost an average of 5 games per season in the fourth quarter, leading. Leading. So that's 5 games that he got out there. And if you notice, whenever he got the ball back to try to get us a drive, you got 1 minute to go 80 yards. That's
and
how
guys, he beat legendary quarterbacks. Brett Favre, Tony Romo was a great quarterback. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Matt Ryan, former league MVP. Favre and Rodgers, multiple time MVPs. The GOAT, Tom Brady, slays his ass twice.
Right.
You could make an argument that the worst quarterback in terms of resume that Eli Manning beat could be Alex Smith, but I wouldn't go there just yet because Alex Smith was a winner, guys. Alex Smith won a lot of football games. Some might declare him a disappointment as the 1 pick, and then in some ways he has that in common with Eli because Eli did have some up and down years. Eli's worst season of his professional career, unquestionably 2013. But if you look at 2010, the kind of year that he had, the Giants defense again, blowing a huge lead against the Philadelphia Eagles. Do I have to go back to 08? If Plaxico Burress doesn't shoot himself and get suspended and then ultimately go to prison for a little while,
we go back to back.
Are we even having this conversation?
We go back to back. That team after was better.
The 08 version of the Giants was better than the 07 version. And the 2010 version was better than the 11 version. And I'm not even going to debate that.
No debate.
This is not like clear cut and concise that we know the 90 Giants were better than 89, or we know the 86 Giants were better than 85. We know this. But truthfully, and then the retirements of Tiki and Shockey definitely swayed things in the favor, and Plaxico getting in trouble, in favor of the Eagles. And quite frankly, the Giants have still been on the wrong end of the losing stick with the Eagles for a long time. That is the one team that Eli struggled against the most. He did sweep them in 07 en route to his first Super Bowl. I just personally think that in 08, if the Giants win the Super Bowl, they were the best team in football that year. I'm not even going to debate that. I personally think that there's nothing to speak on here. And who the hell knew Victor Cruz's name before 2011? Maybe Mrs. Mara. I remember his 3-touchdown game against the Jets in the preseason via Jim Sorgi, who was longtime backup for Peyton Manning and actually a former teammate of your cousin, Idris.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Everything, man.
That's all I got. Eli for the Hall. Not this year. I could live with that. I'm just tired of these narratives that he doesn't belong at all and that he's getting in on his name. That couldn't be anything further from the truth.
Yeah, the talent he had around him, we never had the same talent. And our Super Bowls are 4 years apart, but we didn't have the same talent in 2007 that we had in 2011.
And that's the same thing with going back to the Parcells era, 2 and 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years apart, I should say. 4 years apart. 90, 86, 11, 07. Giants are in jeopardy of not keeping a 5th decade of winning a Super Bowl. They are the only team to win one in each of the last 4 decades, 80s through the 2010s. But good show, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for letting me blow off some steam on that Eli rant. Shed, anything you want to say on the way out?
No, but let's go Niners. Not optimistic, but hoping they can pull off the dub, boys. That'll be cool. They wouldn't travel again and until next season because the Super Bowl is in Santa Clara. So they would be home throughout.
Yeah.
And history's on their side if it goes that way, because the previous 2 teams to host the Super Bowl won it. The Rams and the Bucks were the original one to do it.
Yeah, I hope they win today. I think they win today. They get the number 1 seed. I think they'll be tough to beat, man. Because you don't know what you're getting out of them. And they might go in the playoffs and say, hey, you know what it's time for? Let's go. Who knows?
It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Niners are going to win. I give Shed a lot of props for going against his team. I think it just shows how objective Shed is and why he's a great contributor to this show. And I think the biggest shock is that Mike Zappi, Shed's forever rival in terms of hatred for the 49ers, actually picked the 49ers. So, sometimes it bees like that. It's kind of funny when that kind of stuff happens. Shed, great job, buddy. As always, appreciate getting you back here on the show.
Yes, sir.
Guys, announcements to come. Of course, we do our typical Monday preview, but announcements to come for our playoff shows. We might lean into splitting the AFC and NFC brackets into 2 separate videos. If you haven't already, please make it a point. Like and subscribe to the channel. The Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. Check out our friends at the Casual Convo Show every other Monday, Wednesday, 8 to 10 over on Hand Radio. Check out the Sports Corner with our guy, Johnny Nast, as well as our guy, Joe Gal. And check out these shorts, man. We're having a lot of fun with these shorts.
Oh, hell yeah.
Check out the Dallas Cowboys parody one. Shouts out to C-Block, Idris's friend. Great job. Great job, gentlemen.
Appreciate it. I need to get him on the show, though.
I'm down. You got to get him on the show for sure. And I know that your hip-hop network goes deep in North Carolina, so it would definitely be good now with the new year upon us.
He's kind of like Nunez, so I kind of have to brief him first. I think he's Nunez's twin. I got to brief him, man.
Let me find out that Nunez has a cousin out there. Nunez, shouts out to you as well. Thank you for contributing, as always. One of my favorite Eagle fans, and believe me, that list is short.
Yeah, for real.
So, Shed, before we get out of here, what you got cooking for today? You're going to hang at the house and enjoy the football? You going out with the family today?
No, we're probably gonna hang out here. My kids, the flu's going through the house. So.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah, we got our asses handed to us in late November.
Yeah, my son was throwing up New Year's Eve every hour on the hour, and my daughter had the fever last night. My wife's now nauseous, so here we go.
Dang.
Oh, sorry to hear that, but I hope everybody feels better in the Shed household. Yeah, Noah and Jen both had it bad, but Noah had it the worst.
Mm-hmm.
As in addition to the flu, he also had pneumonia.
Dang.
Yeah, so I was we took him to Nemours, not gonna lie, with that 105 fever, we were a little scared, but thankfully he's just fine. And I'm gonna kind of do the same thing, gentlemen. I'm gonna pick up the house, watch some football. I have not seen Noah up until this morning for 2 consecutive days awake because of the hours I've been pulling. I overslept. Thanks for bearing with me this morning on that, because I was so damn tired, boys. I was putting these banners together last night and I couldn't finish. I went to sleep, but great show, guys. This was good.
Oh yeah.
And Brett, bring yourself into these shorts. If there was ever a time for you to have to be heard from, it would be now, because your Patriots are back on top, at least until they play Buffalo. Yeah, I said what I said, Brett. No, I'm coming for you after the Bills end it, because I know you're going to be having some. You're going to be having some mixed feelings, so to speak.
Poor Brett. And Brett,
That's
by the way,
why I like
means don't give us a picture of you in shorts.
Oh my!
Yeah, don't do that either.
Don't
Nobody
do
trying to see that.
Yeah, don't do that.
You have to be very specific with Brett. You can't just say these shorts, because then he's going to think you want him to wear shorts and take a picture of it and send it or something.
Yeah. Brett, Yeah. We are out.
Peace.